Welcome to Just Minding My Business Radio, where we are moving at the speed of God, learning what we didn't know we didn't know. I'm your host, Ida Crawford.
And I'm your co-host, Ruth Haskins.
So grab a pen and paper and get ready for information that you can use.
Welcome to Just Minding My Business. We appreciate you stopping by for news and views you can use. We are happy to bring to the mic James Sparkman, who has served in the financial industry since 2004, helping individuals and business owners save money on healthcare costs, reduce taxes, protect assets, and more. Well, welcome, James, to the show. We definitely appreciate you stopping by.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Welcome, James.
Thank you, Ida and Ruth. I thank you guys for having me here. And I thank you for my first. This is my first podcast, so I'm trying to get into this arena, and I think Ida and Ruth is going to be able to help me expand my reach throughout the internet.
Absolutely, that's our goal. So, James, how did you get started with this? What was your motivation?
Well, I came from the healthcare field into financial services. So I've seen a lot of things change in my working in the healthcare field, where I saw a lot of people, when they get older, they just don't have it. You know, they don't have enough money. They're struggling with their bills. I'm talking about not just your regular, your workers. I'm talking about business owners who have businesses and they just didn't save enough, or they didn't have their situation set up right. And I said, my goodness, that's a problem, because that's something that can be fixed with pre-planning. You know, and don't get me wrong, there's things happens in people's lives that cause them to not be able to plan like they want to plan. But if that person had that education, I believe that and that push, you know, because you got to push a little bit too. But the education, that push, then I feel like they'll have a better opportunity to save, to where Social Security is not their only source, you know, of income, you know, and when they get 65, 67, and such. So that's was one of my goals when I first got into helping individuals save and be able to reduce their costs and things like that.
Oh, okay. So tell us exactly what you do.
Well, there's two areas that I want to talk about today. Our main area is helping individuals save on taxes, and and it's more business to business, helping business owners who are making $1 million a year or more save on taxes. That's one thing. A lot of times these business owners, they're making all this money, they're doing very well for themselves. However, they find out that come end of the year, they made so much money that they really can't stand it, you know. So you're like, my goodness, they've made so much money to where they're getting destroyed in taxes. Come March, they're hurting because, like, man, they know it's coming around. They got to write this check, and so we, what we do is we help cut the business owners' taxes in half. If you're making $1 million a year or more, we cut their taxes in half through the strategies that we set up. And also, there's also flexibility in our plans that we have. So that's one thing. The second thing is when you have an individual who has a commercial property, who is $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $10 million, $15 million, and they've had a appreciation, we cut out 99% of the capital gains taxes from what these people are having to pay. So, for instance, just give you a quick example. If you don't want me to give an example, that's later. That's for later.
Oh yeah, give bring
an
it.
example. Keep us.
Yes.
We're in learning mode.
Yes.
Okay, so all right, so say a hotel owner or multifamily apartment owner, say they bought a property for $5 million 10 years ago, and they say their property was all right, but they pushed the appreciation through remodeling. You know, the neighborhood gotten better, and they went from $5 million to say $7 million. Now, that $2 million appreciation, is what they're going to have to pay that capital gains tax on, and they're going to pay the capital gains from 20 to 23%, depending on the situation. So just say for good numbers, 20%. That $2 million times 20%, they're going to have to pay $400,000 to Uncle Sam $400,000 to Uncle Sam for their capital gains tax. Now that's significant. You know, that's significant because what our plan is, we're going to help you keep most of that $400,000 in your pocket. So to reinvest also, and to do whatever you want to do with it in addition. So all of a sudden, you went from selling this property for $7 million. You keep most of that. Now you take that $7 million and reinvest into another property versus taking that monies that you understand. Then you cutting back on $400,000, and then now you're left with close to $6.5 million, which you first might say that's not a big difference. But if you over time you keep doing that, then all of a sudden you see the magnitude of saving on those taxes. So that's a good short example.
Well, keep teaching. There's so much to this whole issue of having property. I know that is becoming a big push for many people to gain some level of real estate investment. Mm-hmm. And for people who are just entering into it, there's a huge lack of knowledge. There's a lot of gurus out there that have all these magic formulas, but the real deal of being able to invest, what does it take to invest in real estate at the level that you're talking about?
Okay, if someone comes, and so we usually work with developers and multifamily developers and such like that, and they already have a lot of them already have their platforms together where they're looking for investors, So and when the person is looking for investors, that's one area that we also do, where a person says, for instance, they may have a $30 million project going up, and they're looking for investors in that sense, And so for instance, we have one investor that is looking for investors to come in, one real estate developer with investors to come in, and the minimum seed for them is $250,000, and that's the minimum. Ideally, is much more, but that's the minimum to come in. And so, and there's a turnaround time of 3 to 5 years of returning your monies, which is 10 to 12% every year, not over the total. Like if you think about over the total from say 5 years, you put in 250 over the total, you'll get 275 back because you get 10% off of 250. Mm-hmm. That's 275. No, that's 10% every year. So that first year is 10%, the next year is 10%, next year is 10%, all the way through. So you're getting 25 plus every single year to the end of that 5 years. So that's a big difference than you put in 250 and you get back 10% versus you getting a compounding 10%. That's two different things. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So, thank you.
So your program versus the 1031 exchange. And for our listeners, can you just explain what the 1031 exchange is, just in case?
1031 exchange is basically, it's more common. Most people use that when they're moving properties, especially in the commercial arena. So here's a basic 1031 exchange. It's basically the section in the IRS code, the Internal Revenue Code, should I say, and the section is 1031. And basically that section defines how a person can sell property with, and in addition to defer taxes. So if you defer your taxes, once again, you defer them over and over and over and over, but eventually you have to pay on the taxes eventually. However, with the 1031 exchange, say for instance you sell a multifamily development, and then when that person sells that development, say they have to pay taxes. Their tax liability is say $200,000. Instead of doing $200,000, paying $200,000 to the IRS, they can defer that. Due to 1031 exchange, they can defer that $200,000 to another project. So as long as that project is deferred in 180 days, so basically 6 months. As long as they defer that project in 6 months, they're able to defer those taxes along the way. So that's one area. But there's a problem with the 1031 exchange, because if you don't find that property in 180 days, well, you got to find a property in like 45 days, I believe. But if you don't close on a property in 180 days, then you have problems. So it's you got to reinvest quickly with that. And so that's a problem that some developers don't want to have, some apartment owners don't want to have. Some people are fine with that. They're fine with that. Hey, I got to go. But some people say, hey, let me sit back and wait. It just depends on that person. And with our program, that we eliminate that need for that 1031 exchange.
Okay. Okay, so this program is probably appealing to people, high-end earners, especially in the real estate investing arena.
Absolutely. Any high earner, like if you have somebody who has a private equity firm, or you have somebody who is selling stock, selling a slew of stock. They about to sell stock and they know they about to get hit, because their taxable gains usually not just 20%. is more than that when you're selling stocks and things like that. But anyway, any type of private equity firms, real estate, also business owners who have like HVAC companies. HVAC companies, they make a lot of money and they have a small staff. Like people who do air conditioning in their homes. They come and tell you, hey, we're gonna, they make a lot of money, and so we just try to figure out ways to cut back on their taxes and such. So that's just any business owner that has a high income earner.
Okay. So if a person, let's say they're not in the real estate business, say they just in a business and they're very successful and they made a lot of money. Mm-hmm. Can this program also support them as well?
Absolutely. So class example. I want to talk about this case study for this one individual. This individual is, say you have a individuals whose gross business revenue is between $5 and $10 million. That's our ideal client in that range, $5 to $10 million of business revenue, and don't have a huge staff. You know, they may have a staff of 5 to 20 people, something small like that. They're making a lot of money. They don't have a whole lot of staff that have to pay. They have a lot of usually they have a low expenses. And guess what? These individuals would benefit from this program like significantly, because it has more flexibility, even more flexibility in a retirement plan. You know, so that's a plus, because you can put your monies in this plan and be able to move about your investments as you see fit, not as the government sees fit, or whatever, as you see fit. So that's the benefit of this plan.
Wow. So if a person wanted to get involved with this plan, what's the process?
Okay, so the process is basically you go. My website is my name, James Sparkman. You can contact me at my website, jamessparkman.com. That's JAMES Sparkman SPARKMAN.com, and you can put in your information, your name and your email address, and I'll contact you. And basically, once a person contacts me from my website, the information gets to me, and then I set up a Zoom call like we're doing. I set up a Zoom call with my senior advisor, and we all are on the phone discussing where the person's pain points are. See, some people, if somebody's paying, $500,000, $1 million in taxes, that's a huge pain point. And this is what we know, based on our history, we have relieved people of that pain point. And so that's the point, if we can relieve that person, solve that problem for them, that's our goal, and so that's what we do. It's a beautiful thing. And so I just thought about a case. This our company, we were working with this with one of these business owners, and we just said, hey, you need a second opinion on your taxes. We have a CPA firm that can take a second look on your taxes. And this person was paying over $1 million in taxes. We had a second opinion from one of our CPA firms. How much you think we was able to reduce that person, just from the second opinion, reduce that person's tax burden?
At least 50%.
At least, yeah, you're right. At least 50%. Over $1 million, he paid nothing.
Whoa.
Wow.
Now that's a rare case. That's a rare case. There were just some things that his business wasn't structured properly but this CPA firm that we work with. Because when a person hires me, they're hiring a slew of tax attorneys, CPAs, actuaries, and we're all looking at this case and customize the case specifically for them. So it's not just myself and my senior advisor. It's a group of us that's working together, that's specialized, and that's what we do. That's what we specialize in. So when a person hires myself, they're hiring more than just me, and so that's what's the point behind it is. And so don't get me wrong, that case was a rare case, but that can happen to just about similar things can happen. It's at least 50%, like Ruth said, at least 50%. We can do at least 50%. And say, for instance, like this year, we may not be able to do because last year is gone. But I'm talking about this year. For the next year, we can definitely cut their tax burden by 50% for sure.
Now, go ahead, Ruth.
No, you go first.
Someone coming into your program how often do you go over their tax stuff before the end of the year to make sure that they're on point to the savings?
Yes. See, that's what that's where we're here today. If we can get somebody early enough, because people start getting nervous around the fourth quarter, and, and instead of them planning right around this time, or say, right around this time for the next year, we can work like, I don't want to say miracles, but I think miracles left for God, but we can work some major pain points out, almost like a tax massage.
Right.
So we can work some major tax issues out, and that's what, if anything, I want to give somebody a tax massage, and help them relieve that, and that's what we do.
So in other words, now is the time to get with you,
right?
To
now
start the planning.
Yes. And
not the fourth quarter.
not the fourth quarter. Especially when the holidays are around. And it's just could get so crazy. Our tax attorney, one of my tax attorneys, he's gonna work. He's gonna work and work and work. But he's overwhelmed come November, December. Because he just has so much work, and and so and of course we can refer him to different other of our team. But that's what we do. And I work, like I said, I work with multiple tax attorneys, CPA firms, actuaries, to help really get down in the weeds,
So go ahead, Ruth.
Oh no, I don't want to interrupt this flow of conversation.
Go ahead. Because I got
we have many listeners who are not in that millionaire bracket, but that's where they want to go. That's their thought. Mm-hmm. So could you talk just for a moment about the importance of setting up your business correctly so that when the money begins to flow, you're already in a position to maximize whatever you possibly can. A lot of us go into business and we really have not set up anything. We just know that this is what we want to do and we're all excited about it, and we do a few elemental things. Mm-hmm. But how do we set ourselves up from the door to be successful?
Right.
So that we can come to you and get your help.
That's a very, very good question, Ruth. Very good. When you think about setting something up, when you got your goals written down and you say, okay, I want to be at this income level by such and such years. And so you have your goals down. Now, here's the deal. There was Shaquille O'Neal was talking on he was speaking on his free shots, how he missed so many free shots over his lifetime. I got to see who he was interviewing with, but anyway, he was doing an interview. This was years ago, and he was speaking now. If he would have made a little bit more free shots in his percentage, he would have raised his percentage up a little bit more, he would be closer on that top of that scores leaderboard. And so it'd be closer to the top if he would just changed his and was work on his free shots a little bit more. And so when a person is working and trying to build their business, yes, great, let's make the monies, but let's structure you right now. So the money that you do have coming in, you can do wonders with the money that you do have coming in, to where all of a sudden you're structured properly to now you're not losing it to the tax situation. And so just what you already have, you're just keeping more of what you already have. And then of course you're growing along the way. So I hope that it makes a little sense.
Thank you. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Wow. This has been I'm just simmering on the things that you're talking about. And in the real estate world, like you said before, most people do the 1031 exchange.
Mm-hmm.
So in your experience as you're doing this business, are you able to work with African Americans who are in that position, who help them with saving their money from the IRS?
Yeah, we work with, of course, everyone. But I don't know if African Americans just don't know about the different programs. But I do know that a lot of the individuals I work with are not African Americans. Our company works with are not African Americans. So I don't know why that is. I have some thoughts, but but I don't know why that is exactly. And then I do know this, that we can start to do better. I do know that as a whole, and we can start to do better by making that leap. And making that leap to say, okay, I've been doing it this way. Let me see if I can get some help on that, and be legit. Because I know some people who try to go around, and there was an actor who went around the system. But I'm like, if you would have just went to the right people, you could have did the same thing. Instead of cutting the system, you could have went through the laws and still made it. Now you're doing years in prison instead of just following the law, and you could have made what you were trying to do lawful instead of trying to kind of cut the system.
Mm-hmm. Legitimately.
That's so important. That's so important. I'm glad that you brought that up, because a lot of people are, they hear, well, if you do it this way, you don't have to do, you can get around the IRS. And there's no way of getting around the IRS. They're going to hit you one way or the other, sooner or later. So you might as well set it up right and do it right.
Yes.
And I'm glad that came up, so that if anybody is in the back of their mind thinking, well, I've got a better way. No, there really isn't. Really isn't. You're going to get caught sooner or later.
Exactly.
Yeah, read the fine print. I mean, use the laws that are already established to work for you.
Yes, absolutely. I agree 100%. And that's what it's about. Use what you already have, and you can do amazing things. And also, I want to express to you all, if any of your viewers have a CPA, make sure that CPA has a very good connection with the financial advisor. Even if you don't use my services, make sure, because a CPA, I don't want to be a CPA. They have a lot, things going on, and I'm an advisor. However, I can't do what a CPA can do, and a CPA can't do what I can do. Mm-hmm. And so that's when we come together. But if a person say, oh, I got a CPA, but a CPA can't do what I do. So it's like we come together and we work on a solution together when we talk about high net worth. There's some individuals, believe it or not, they're making, 10, 15, 20 million dollars a year, and they only have a CPA. They only have an advisor. They only have a CPA. And that CPA is just doing, they're doing a great job, but it can always be better. My wife has, me and my wife, we have 5 children. Mm-hmm. We have 2 sets of twins. I have 2 11-year-olds, 1 7-year-old, and 2 2-year-olds. And this is right on point. We have an OBGYN. He's one of our favorite. He's one of my favorite OBGYNs. But doing with the 2 sets of twins, we had high risk OBGYN. Mm-hmm. We used him, and we had a high risk. So when you're making this kind of money, you can keep your CPA, but let's see what we can do in the high risk arena, and we can make some moves happen to help complement what your CPA is doing. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
So creating a team.
That's
Yes.
right.
So if an
Right.
individual, let's say an individual, you know how overnight millionaire, they ain't even see it coming.
Mm.
So if they hire your company, you come with a CPA, a financial advisor, and an attorney.
We have financial advisors. We have tax attorneys. We have CPA firms. We also have actuaries. See, to get the numbers where we want to maximize a person's tax savings, sometimes we have to use the actuary to get those numbers, because actuary helps basically helps see or project certain numerical values for a certain project. So if you have an actuary, that's their job is to get down to the itsy bitsy parts, and also it makes our jobs, makes the clients simple, makes their job simple. We just get the information from them, and we tell them what we need, and it makes the job for them simple. And so because when they think of, oh man, you got a tax attorney, CPA firm, actuaries, advisors, like, oh my goodness, so much. But no, we streamline this, and we can get somebody set up very quickly. All we need is to get the information from them as we requested along the way. So I don't want them to say, oh, it's too much. No, we make it things very simple and easy to move forward.
Well, whatever it is, in my opinion, if you're going to save money, it's well worth it, I would think. Mm-hmm. Especially if you're a $1 million and up earner. Mm-hmm. You want to shield as much as your money as possible, and have strategies that are going to really work for you. Mm-hmm. So, to me, it's a no-brainer, actually.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The more you make, the more you need to have in place to make sure that you keep what you work so hard to make.
Yes.
And our system is set up, honestly, to take as much as they possibly can get. And if you're not aware that you can hold on to some of it, the system is not going to tell you that you. No, they're not going to say, no, we don't need all that. Here's something back. They're going to say, thank you very much, and keep walking with it.
Right.
So right. I'm really amazed by what you're talking about. I know that there are many people who are hopefully taking notes, as Ida said at the beginning, news and views that you can use. This is information that they can use, even if they are not at that place yet, but this is where their aspirations lie. Mm-hmm. They need to be taking notes so that they know where to go, so that they know that they're not out there scattergun, like, oh my goodness, I'm making all this money. Now who do I turn to?
Right.
They're already, if they are taking notes on this, they already have a name, they have a person, they have someone that they've heard speak before, they have an idea of what it is that they will need to do. So I'm really hoping that people are listening with pen and paper in hand, and if they aren't, that they go back and listen to this again and actually take notes and make sure they have this information. This should actually be part of their business plan, this type of information. Somewhere in the little corner, when you talk about, who are your partners, who do you want to team up with? James Sparkman should be in there, because I'm really impressed by what you're offering. And there's so many people who do have that ability. They're going to have $1 million businesses if they don't already have them. So I hope you folks are hearing that. Pen, paper, notes, put it into your business plan. JamesSparkman.com.
All right. I can't add nothing else to that. Because I know when I spotted James, I spotted him on LinkedIn, and he just had a few words, but those few words really impacted me, and I reached out to him, and we had a little conversation, and after I learned a little bit more about what he was doing, I was like, oh, we got to bring you to the show. We got to let people know about this because this is huge. Because a lot of people make a lot of money and they've spent a lot of money in taxes because they just don't know.
That's right.
They just don't know. You know,
That's
so
right.
now you know.
That's right.
Now you know.
Yeah.
So again, James, how do folks get at you?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely contact me again. I have my, like I said, my website. I know people really don't call people as much anymore, but you can call me. My number is 352-789-3865. My website is James, James, Sparkman, SPARKMAN.com. And you can definitely get in contact with me. And this is why I say, if you start working with me and you see the value, you know, you will see the value. Just allow the process to go and just get that relief, you know, because that's what we're going to bring. We're going to bring relief to your situation.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of times people are a little fearful of trying something different, you know, and I like what you said about just let the process, just let the process go. I mean, you're dealing with people that know the books back and forth. That's their business. A tax attorney, that's all he thinks about, tax attorney stuff. You know, a financial advisor, they're skilled to help you with finances.
That's right.
So let them do their stuff. Delegate.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. People who have specific skills all working together to provide an awesome service to make sure that you are safe and within the law, and also that you're maximizing all the hard work that you do.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I'm impressed. You know, I'm not in the Millionaires Club yet. We have yet to see how that goes. But it's important information, and I really appreciate you coming on and sharing this with us and being so very clear with it. You know, it's very clear. People have a good idea of what it is that you do and what they need. And sometimes it's not so much about what we need. You have to want it.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
You have to want it. So,
yeah.
From me, I won't say anything more.
Well, if you're $1 million earner, then you want this.
Yes. Yeah, I try not to be, because I've been kind of like expressive, but yeah, you want this. You want this. If you have any aspirations of becoming a millionaire and having a millionaire business every single year and growing progressively, you want this.
Yes.
Because this is what so many people don't have, and they end up at the end of their lives losing everything.
Yes.
You know, after, you know, there's so many people who've made tons of money. And I'm talking about people like Red Fox, Sammy Davis, all of them. When it was all over, they owe the IRS everything.
Wow.
You know, and it doesn't make sense.
No.
Not anymore. There are people that you can go to.
That's right.
You know, there are people that you can go to who have this knowledge, who have this expertise, and who are really there to assist in this, with this magnitude of money. It's the same thing like when people win the lottery. You know, people win the lottery and a year later, and they're in worse shape than they were when they first won, you know, because they don't know what to do with it. They listen to their aunts and their uncles and all the people in their family and, you know, all these other people who don't have the expertise, and they end up with nothing. And that's where a financial advisor comes in, and someone also to pull you in and say, you know, you can't do this. This is not a good idea. You know,
Right.
this is a better plan. Let's create a plan for you.
Yes.
And I think that's kind of like where you started at, you know, the fact that as people get older, they suddenly realize they don't have what they need, but it's because they didn't have a plan.
That's right.
And so it's about planning.
That's right.
And even if you're 70,
Yes.
it's time to plan. Because if you have any plans to have a business or whatever, you need to plan.
Mm-hmm.
It's not too late. I've been trying to talk to people of late that, you know, the whole paradigm of aging has changed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
It used to be when you turned 50, basically, you were old, okay? And by the time you were 60, you're ready for the rocking chair. And you do nothing but knit and crochet and bake cookies for the grandchildren. That is over with. And anyone out there listening, it's over with. If you're 30 and you think you're going to get to 60 and that's what you're going to be doing, forget it.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be working for the rest of your life, bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
But the difference is, as you get older, you may be able to choose the work that you do.
Yes.
And it'll be work that you love to do. And because you love to do it, you'll probably give more of your energy to it.
Yes.
And be more successful with it.
That's right.
So again, that comes back to James Sparkman. You need this kind of information.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You need this kind of information because that old paradigm of aging is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
No longer in existence.
Nice.
It ain't over till it's truly over.
There you go. That's right. There's no more rocking chair years. Those are gone. They're gone. If you have a rocking chair, it's because you just like them and it feels good. But yeah, you're not going to be spending
It's got a whole bunch of junk sitting on it. Ain't for rocking.
You know?
Oh, James, this has been fabulous. We had a blast with you.
Yes.
Well, definitely. I'm glad I was able to, you guys were able to have me. I'm glad that I was able to, you know, share some bits of knowledge, you know. And
Did we make you feel comfortable? Because I know this is your first.
You know, you guys made me very comfortable. I appreciate that. I'm actually developing some content, more content. I do some content on YouTube, but I'm improving on the consistency of it and such because, you know, I see that this is a good medium and I see what you're doing. I went to your guys' website and I said, man, I want to be able to have that kind of reach. And because I know what I do and what our team can do. And you know, it's like you got, when you have that special device and a whole lot of people don't know about it, you know, you need a reach. You just need a reach. And so that's what I'm looking to reach out. I'm trying to you know, have videos at least every 5 days a week. So that's going to be my goal, and trying to reach out to different individuals with what we do. And so that's and I thank you guys' website because when I saw that I said, man, that's it right there. That's gonna help me be able to share this more with more people. And so that was a plus for me.
All right. And that's what attracted me to you, because you have something unique and people need it. And that's what our platform is all about, being able to share information to educate, empower, and inspire people. Because, I mean, we need to know.
Yes.
Absolutely.
The knowledge that is out there, anything that is known is knowable. So,
absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Sparkman. We appreciate you and look forward to more conversations. Awesome. And, you know, as new stuff comes up, I know you're going to share it with us.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much.
All right. Well, you take care. And until next time, you guys.
All right.
All right. Bless.
Word on the street says there's something new at Just Minding My Business Media. You've heard our podcast, Just Minding My Business Radio that brings news and views you can use? That airs every Thursday at 6 p.m. on iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, and Spreaker. Well, now you can watch Just Minding My Business. That's right, Just Minding My Business Media now has a TV presence on Raven International TV Network, broadcast on Roku, Fire, and Apple TV. Your business, through Just Minding My Business Media, has exposure on internet radio, major social media platforms, and now TV, through Just Minding My Business dynamic digital marketing platform. Don't listen to the word on the street. Hear it for yourself. Visit jmb.asistercircle.org to learn how you can take your business, your vision, to the next level. Thank you to the amazing women of A Sister Circle Empowerment Network, ASCEN LLC, and our media partners. Let Just Minding My Business Media promote your business. For information, visit us at jmb.asistercircle.org. That's jmb.asistercircle.org. Voiceovers by RCH VoiceWorks. For when you want to be heard. Call 443-620-4115.
Thank you for tuning in to Just Minding My Business Radio. I'm your host, Ida Crawford.
And I'm your co-host, Ruth Haskins.
We hope you enjoyed the show and appreciate you stopping by. Many blessings to you and yours.